3,000 for the women. This is the men's 100 metres. Heat 1 here, Dennis Mitchell in lane 2 in the fluorescent green, being chased down very hard by Bruni Saurin, the world indoor champion. Darren Braithwaite also in that one. Now only the winner go through. There are 3 heats. The winner of each one goes through, and the 3 fastest losers to the final. Remember, it's only a 6-lane track, this, even down the home straight, which does puzzle me a bit. There's no reason why they couldn't have had a couple of lanes going down the infield to make it an 8-lane straight. There's the result. Mitchell goes through by right 10-12. Both Saurin and Braithwaite are going to have to wait and see if they make it through to the final. I can assure you Tim Jackson won't go through with 10.61.
This is the second heat. Linford Christie there in lane 4. Good to be back. He's got a big race on, hopefully later on in the evening. Linford Christie there coming through, beating Michael Green in second place from Jamaica, and that was pretty fast, 10.08. Linford very keen to get himself back into good racing form after all his problems. Going out in the heats at the 3 Years Championships, being reinstated in the final, all the controversy which went with that. 10.08 there, as I said. Michael Green, again, he will have to see. That puts him pretty close, I think, to Surin's time in heat 2, maybe identical.
Yes, at the moment, Steve, Mitchell and Christie through for sure. Heat 3 then. Adenikin in this, in the centre lane. Adenikin for Nigeria going well, but look at lane 2 there, going superbly. Donovan Powell, yet another Jamaican. Good running by him, 10.13 there for Donovan Powell. He goes through by right. Adenikin will too there, he was second. And Donovan Bailey, who ran the world's fastest time last weekend in the Canadian Championships with 9.91. Just ahead of Saurin in 3rd place there, and may well not make the final. 10.24 there for Bailey, and I can tell you immediately that Bailey doesn't. Around the 10.1 mark. Big test this for Christie, Steve, wondering if that hamstring's recovered.
Well, yes, it had been billed against Christie versus Bailey. Obviously, big disappointment for the crowd, Bailey not managing to make the final, but even so, a very, very strong field here for Linford Christie. And it's important now, from this point on, really going into Gothenburg, that he wins. I think, obviously, for sprinters, the heavyweights, if you like, of track and field, psychological advantage to be gained by having got 2-3 victories over your main rivals just before the championships is so important. And I think now Linford Christie is getting into that mode of focusing very, very much on Gothenburg, and he'll be wanting to walk away tonight with a good victory under his belt.
Been a very hard season for Christie so far. He's had his own injury problems. His mother died a month or so ago, just before the European Cup. Travelled out to Lille for that, won the 100 and 200, and his best time so far this year, 10.05, and the 200 in 2011. But had a poor race in Lausanne a couple of weeks back where he started badly. Now he really needs a good run tonight to get him back into the winning groove with just 2 weeks to go before Gothenburg. And not quite sure what caused the upset there. Couldn't see anybody full starting. As Steve said earlier, for the hurdlers, it's very, very difficult to listen for the gun when there's so much murmuring and whispering and cameras clicking right beside them there. Well, that's 90, Michael Green on the outside. Maybe he's been credited with a full start.
Definitely there, and I think that's the most difficult lane, as we were mentioning earlier on in the 110 hurdles. The crowd will literally lean over the hoardings and can just about touch the athletes. Well, they certainly could touch the athletes if they put their hand out. It's very important that they keep still and they keep very quiet.
Into the blocks again then. Saurin in 1, Mitchell in 2, Christie there in 3, Donovan Powell in 4. Remember, he started superbly in his heat, looked very, very strong indeed. Adenikin of Nigeria in 5, Michael Green of Jamaica in 6. But one has the feeling the 2 men who will feature in Gothenburg are Mitchell and Christie. They're in 2 and 3. Traded wins and losses last year. Good start from Powell again in lane 4 in the centre there. Christie with a bit of work to do at the moment. Mitchell ahead of him too. Here comes Christie. Powell working hard, but Christie eases in front of the tape. 10-12 there, the win for Linford Christie. The time not particularly impressive, but unimportant there. The wind speed minus 0.8 in their faces. The win vital. Dennis Mitchell cursing there as he loses that one. Comes home, in fact, in 4th place, Dennis Mitchell. Christie winning it from Powell, who again started like a rocket in lane 4. And Christie really had his work cut out, Steve, but he did run them down in the last 20.
Well, this is Championship Linford Christie. That's the strong part of the race. We always know that he can come back when he's in form over those last 20 metres or so. And as you said, Powell had really got out to a cracking start. We're still leading at this point. But this is where Linford Christie does his running. As he comes in the last 20, eases himself ahead, as you said. Dennis Mitchell can't do anything about it. That's why he's cursing. And I tell you what, Linford Christie is beginning to look good now. A couple of weeks away before Gothenburg. And I think that will do him the power of victory. And strains of Land of Hope and Glory in the background. I guess with the proms starting at the Royal Albert Hall this week, maybe that's a doff your cap to the British contingent here, and a very, very popular man in Oslo.
Well, that's a great result for Linford Christie. Important psychological one over the Jamaicans, the Africans and the Americans.